All right, Browns fans, let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt genuinely excited about the direction of this team? Not hopeful, not cautiously optimistic, actually excited. Because what's happening in Cleveland right now isn't just another offseason shuffle. This is a full-blown transformation, and if you're not paying attention, you're missing the most important moves this franchise has made in years. Todd Monken isn't playing games. He's assembling a coaching staff that has John Harbaugh literally competing for the same talent. Think about that for a second. The head coach of one of the most respected organizations in football is trying to hire the same people Monken is bringing to Cleveland. That's not luck. That's respect. That's pull. And it's already translating into real, tangible upgrades that could change everything about how this offense operates. Let's start with George Warhop. If that name sounds familiar, it should. He ran our offensive line from 2009 to 2013, but more importantly, he just spent the last 2 years turning Baltimore's offensive line into one of the most dominant units in football. 3rd in pass block win rate, 7th in run block win rate, elite-level performance across the board. Now contrast that with what we just suffered through. Cleveland ranked 20th in pass block win rate and 24th in run block win rate last season. We couldn't protect the quarterback. We couldn't establish the run. It was a complete disaster, and we watched it fall apart every single Sunday. Bringing Warhop back isn't some nostalgic move or a desperate gamble. This is a surgical strike aimed directly at the biggest weakness on this roster. And here's the kicker. We might lose Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin, and Ethan Posick to free agency. That's 4 Week 1 starters potentially walking out the door. So having a coach who already knows Monken's system inside and out, who's proven he can develop talent and maximize performance, that's not just important. That's essential. Warhop gives us continuity in the coaching room even if there's chaos on the roster. And with his decades of experience coaching offensive lines in this league, there's real reason to believe he can stabilize this unit no matter who's wearing the uniform. But Monken didn't stop there. The Browns have officially requested permission to interview Danny Breyer, Baltimore's offensive assistant who specializes in tight ends. This guy has worked directly with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, 2 of the most dynamic tight ends in the entire league. And if you've been paying attention to Monken's career, you know exactly why this matters. At Georgia, he developed Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington. In Baltimore, he built offenses around tight end production. Monken doesn't just like using tight ends. He knows how to weaponize them. And guess what Cleveland already has? Harold Fannin Jr., a rookie tight end who led the entire team in receiving this past season. Let that marinate for a minute. Not a wide receiver. Not a veteran with years of experience. A rookie tight end was our most productive pass catcher. He caught 6 touchdowns and averaged 10 yards per reception. He's not just a safety valve. He's a legitimate playmaker with hands, yards after catchability, and the kind of upside that makes offensive coordinators salivate. Now imagine what happens when you bring in Danny Breyer, someone who's built his entire reputation around maximizing tight end production, and you let him work with Fannin for a full offseason. And if we somehow manage to retain David Njoku in free agency, you're looking at one of the nastiest 2 tight end sets in the AFC. That's the kind of matchup nightmare that wins games in January. This is what makes Monken's approach so exciting. He's not guessing. He's not experimenting with some trendy new scheme. He's bringing in people he trusts, coaches who've already succeeded in his system, and he's building around the strengths we already have on this roster. That's smart football. That's how you turn potential into production. And the fact that he's winning recruiting battles against John Harbaugh should tell you everything you need to know about the respect this staff is already commanding around the league. Warhop could have gone to the New York Giants. He chose Cleveland. That doesn't happen if you're not building something real. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Special teams. Bubba Ventrone's unit was an absolute catastrophe. I'm not exaggerating. By every meaningful metric, we were one of the worst special teams units in the entire league. In 2024, the Browns ranked 2nd to last in special teams DVOA. The year before that, 30th out of 32 teams. This wasn't a one-year blip. This was a sustained pattern of failure. And we all watched it happen. Blocked punts, muff punts, missed tackles, blown coverage assignments, return touchdowns. Our punt return average allowed was a league-worst 30.7 yards. We were literally giving opponents premium field position on every single punt. It was embarrassing. It cost us games. And somehow, Bubba Ventrone was still considered a hot coaching commodity. The Rams and Steelers have both requested to interview him for their special teams coordinator positions. Good. Let them have him. For Cleveland, this isn't a loss. This is addition by subtraction. This is an opportunity to completely rebuild a unit that's been broken for 2 straight years. And Kevin Stefanski knows it. He's already making calls to replace Ventrone. The vibe around the facility is clear. We're moving in a different direction, and it's about time. Here's what people need to understand. This isn't just about swapping out a few assistant coaches. This is a philosophical shift. This is Todd Monken bringing accountability, bringing proven systems, and bringing coaches who know how to get results. He's not just fixing the offense. He's upgrading every weak point on this entire roster. And that should give you real hope. Not blind optimism. Not wishful thinking. Actual, tangible hope based on concrete moves that are already happening. Let's dig even deeper into what the Warhop and Breyer combination could mean for this offense going forward. If you've been waiting for consistency, for a real offensive identity, for a coaching staff that actually understands how to build around the talent we have, this is your moment. Pay attention. Warhop isn't just some veteran coach looking for one last paycheck. He understands the challenges of coaching in Cleveland. He knows this market. He knows the expectations. And he's proven in Baltimore that he can turn an offensive line into a top 5 unit in a single season. Whether it's been poor technique, miscommunication, or just a complete lack of discipline, our offensive line has underperformed even when loaded with talent. Warhop showed in Baltimore how quickly he can fix those issues. We don't need miracles. We need execution. And Warhop's system delivers exactly that. Danny Breyer represents something even more strategic. This isn't just about hiring someone familiar with Monken's philosophy. This is about bringing in a coach who understands how to scheme tight ends open and create mismatches that defenses can't cover. That's what he did in Baltimore, and that's exactly what Cleveland needs to do with Harold Fannin Jr., who's already proven he can be a legitimate T1 even as a rookie. Add Njoku to that equation if he re-signs, and you're looking at a tight end pairing that can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the conference. This isn't theoretical anymore. This is already happening. Monken has built offenses around tight ends his entire career. He knows how to design plays that get them open, how to create mismatches in coverage, how to make them the focal point of an explosive passing attack. And for the first time in a long time, we have a coaching staff that actually knows how to maximize what our players do best. Monken's entire offensive philosophy is built around quarterback-friendly schemes. He designs plays that get quarterbacks moving, that create explosive opportunities outside the pocket, that use play action and misdirection to attack defenses vertically. That fits perfectly with what we have. Mobility, play action threats, tight ends who can break coverage over the middle. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We're finally letting our players play to their strengths. And the coaches in charge actually understand how to make that happen. But we also can't ignore the reality. According to Tom Pelissero, the Browns could potentially lose all 3 coordinators this offseason. Bubba Ventrone is likely gone, and that's addition by subtraction. But losing coordinators across the board means we're looking at a full transformation of this coaching staff. That's rare. That's risky. But it's also absolutely necessary. This team needed a complete reset on the sidelines, and that's exactly what we're getting. Let's be brutally honest about special teams one more time, because it deserves to be said. Last year was painful to watch. Gage Zerlin never looked confident fielding punts, and the coaches stuck with him way too long. The blocked punts weren't frequent, but when they happened, they were momentum killers. And the punting itself, which should have been a strength with Corey Bojorquez's big leg, fell apart. We ranked 25th in punt average. That's shocking when you have a guy with that kind of power. Bad lane discipline, poor blocking, weak coverage. All of it points to a system that was broken from the top down. That's why Ventrone's exit isn't just welcomed. It's overdue. And that brings us back to Monken. While he's not a special teams coach, his influence is visible in how this entire organization is being reconstructed. He wants winners. He wants teachers. He wants coaches who've produced in high-pressure systems. The Ravens, Georgia, the SEC, the AFC North. He's not trying to build something from scratch. He's importing success. And you can see it happening in real time. These aren't flashy hires designed to make headlines. These are functional, smart, strategic moves. The identity of this team is shifting from a defense-first, grind-it-out mentality to something that's trying to be dynamic on both sides of the ball. You bring in Warhop, you fix the offensive line. You bring in Breyer, you supercharge your tight ends. You move on from Bubba, you finally have a chance to fix a special teams unit that's cost us multiple wins. It's all connected. This isn't a patch job. This is a complete rebuild of the coaching staff. Now we wait to see how the rest of these coaching dominoes fall. The defensive side still has major question marks, and we'll have to see who rounds out the full staff. But what we can say right now, with absolute confidence, is this. Todd Monken is here to compete, and he's not wasting a single second surrounding himself with people who know how to win. If you want to stay on top of every move, every hire, every update as this transformation continues, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss a video from Brown's Breakout. Drop a like if you're hyped about the Warhop hire. Leave a comment with your thoughts on Breyer, Monken, or even Bubba Ventrone. Let's build this community together. Because for the first time in a long time, this team is making moves that actually matter. Go Browns!